Y'all, three, get them in the building. We're about to crack heads and twist caps.
Young L on
Let's run that
the
second.
beat. Young L on the beat.
At the Anunnaki Q&A, we see a lot of Anunnaki people putting out a lot of information right now on the Anunnakis. And like I say, we got a shitload of information going all the way back, right? With the Anunnaki Chronicles, 1 through 13, I think it is. We got who are the Anunnaki. We got everything. We even showed you a picture of Enlil, right? The real Enlil, right? Go back and get them tapes called Enlil Come Down from Nubaru with the unibrow. Enlil got a unibrow, right? Because they was asking, oh yeah, so Anu got a unibrow. So that unibrow, it runs on a new side. And then his mother, Enlil's mother is a Natharu. She part Natharu, part Anunnaki. Because it was a whole, see, it's a thing. Um, the word Anunnaki really can be used loosely because it was different types of these beings. Some of them were crossbreed, mixed. Because keep in mind, the master teacher said in the Holy Tablets, and you can read the Holy Tablets for free in the link in the descriptions. But he said in the Holy Tablets that Enlil's mother was part, half a new sister. So nobody cared to ask what was the other half. What, what was her other? And it was happening like it cut me out. If we do that again, we're gonna jump to the Wi-Fi. Hey, how y'all can y'all hear me out there? Keep in mind, Young Other got 8 books out right now, man. The Ascension Manual was the hottest one. The Book of Extraterrestrials, the Hustler's Manual, the Scroll of Eyes, the Dream Scroll, the Galactic Family of Life, the Language of the Bird books, right? You want to get those 8 books, what you do is send a $50 donation to the Cash App, the Young Elder in the pen, and leave your emails and the links, and we'll send those books right over. They messing with my audio. Hold on. Let me go to Wi-Fi, high speed internet. I'm gonna go to Wi-Fi and see what it do. See if he give me a better deal here. Is it good now? Just got a delay on it. Oh yeah, they running some kind of. They don't want this tape to go out. They know we got the Anunnakis down to a science. Hey, hit me with that first question, man. What that says? Enki created the Israelites. Is that a question or are you just making that statement? Because every time Enki, if you read the Bible, every time Enki would help this particular group of people who said they were the chosen people, Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6, that God picked them above all the other people on the face of the earth. That this group of beings, every time something would happen with Enki, Enki would tell them to go here, or go there, go tell this person that. He saved Noah, right? Now, every time something bad would be happening, it'd be Enlil and his gang and another group of beings trying to mess with Enki's people. Keep in mind, this is the war of the gods. You humans just got played as pawns in the middle of the game of the gods. On a beef between two brothers. And that shit, it goes back before even Enlil and Enki beefing. Because Anu and his brother had a beef. Alelu. Him and his brother had a beef. Then, so the brother beef thing go back millennials. You said, what part do he play who? What part do who play? Enlil? Says Simeon Toko. Oh, Simeon Toko. Okay, all right. So Simeon Toko, he's an extraterrestrial. Sum it up. Okay. Now, some people that are what you messing up with, I can't say you messing up, but what you're not getting is that there are human extraterrestrials who look human that live on other planets. Some of them was taken from here thousands of years ago to other planets by the Anunnakis and the Greys and other high-level advanced people and set up whole other civilizations. That's one point. That the Earth or Key is not the only planet that got humans on it. Okay, that's the first part. The second part is you got to understand some of these extraterrestrials have advanced technology where they know how to transfer their consciousness from another, what you probably would term as an avatar. They can transfer their consciousness to an avatar, or they have more sophisticated methods where they can incarnate here onto this planet in a human body. That's another thing. So extraterrestrial, and then too, a lot of stuff that Simeon Toko was doing is extraterrestrials who are humans who come here can use a certain percentage of their brain is capable of doing it. You got to go watch a movie called Lucy. Now, as Lucy increased her brain percentage, right? Once you get to 96%, you had to get taken out of here because or you would turn into a vegetable. 96%, you had to ascend. You had to get the last 4% of this where they calibrate you, and then you can go to a higher ascend. But when you get to a certain percentage of your brain, you can shade shift the way you look. You can change the color of your skin. You can alter your eye color, your whole appearance. Because you got to think about this. Can you do it in your dreams? In your dreams, can you change your appearance? Can you change your clothes and all that in your dream? Which some people from some perspective would term as the fourth dimension, like the mental plane. So in your mind, you can change a lot of things in your mind. So that's about at 40% of your brain capacity. At 40%, Lucy can change. She's walking into the airport and she can change her clothes and her hair color and her eye color. Right? So it's extraterrestrials who are using 40% of their brain, and they can change their appearance and come here and look like humans and talk like humans and walk right amongst you, and you won't even know the difference unless you are extraterrestrial yourself or you got a certain type of spiritual awareness, and you will feel it. You'll say, "Oh yeah, this is something about this person here." I see them all the time. I be seeing Ashtar Command all the time, trying to blend in. There, Ashtar Command can land and walk around, put on some regular clothes and walk around, and you won't even know it's Ashtar Command. The whole time it's Ashtar Command. On Samaritan gods, why not? Um, like when you say Samaritan gods, they go back to fathers. Unless you want to get into some reptilian entities that were here prior to the Anunnakis get here. But for the most part, most of you humans have have a connection with the Anunnakis. Now you got these guys out here. Oh yeah, well no, we ain't with the Anunnakis. We with the Natharus, and the Natharus can't be classified as Anunnakis because they on Mothership Nibiru too. Hakeem, you can't come in here and do that. I'm going live. I need you to close my door for me. You can sit in here, but just close my door. All right. Says, can Anana walk with us now? Yes. Anana's in a lot of you. Hey, close my door. Y'all got come in here now. I'm on live. Like, you got to go back in there. Close my door. Yeah, so your Anana's in all. That's why you women that like wearing them hoop earrings, you pretty women connected with Anana. Anana was making a lot of had her own bloodline from the 12 daughters or the 13 daughters. Well, 12 daughters and one son, really. 12 daughters and one son. But she had a whole bunch of children though from mortal, because she was trying to make a lot of people into kings, to rule through them, use them as pawns, pretty much. Uh, but this, like I say, the oldest, like far as when the intelligence been on the planet before the Anunnakis came, in this in forms of the single cell, the Nebia, or the mitochondrial DNA, or just the natural intelligence that the Homo erectus had. They was telepathic. They had balatary glands and all that before the Anunnaki stepped in. But I'm saying, as far as when you talk about the word gods, that shit can be used loosely. But for the most part, how these Samaritan beings became known as gods is because they had technology, pretty much. To sum it up, they had a certain type of level of technology when they came here to do cloning and do different things that wasn't that supposedly the storyline they give Earth wasn't. It was mostly Homo erectus here. So, but Billy Carson's supposed to have AC. Yeah, so yeah, Billy Carson. Hey, why you messing with my stuff? Why y'all coming to me? You want to lay down? Y'all want to lay down? Go to sleep? All right, so I'm gonna get up out of here. I'm gonna let y'all have it. Just give me a minute. Uh, says how many celebrities are in Anarchy? How many celebrities are in Anarchy? That's a good question. Well, the ones that I know for sure, I know Denzel one, Denzel Washington. It's a couple of them. It's a couple of them that's children of the Anunnakis. Like I say in the scriptures, some of these beings are referred to as Gibberines. This is the children and daughters, because in that Genesis chapter 6, it was two groups that came down. One group was the 200 Gigis at Murdoch's wedding. We just talked about that on the tape that we just put out called "What Happened at Murdoch's Wedding." You want to go check that tape out, right? But the Murdoch and them was one group, and then the other group was Shamgazu and them, and both groups took wives or had children by wives. The good group supposedly was Murdoch and them side, and the Anu and Enlil and them side. They birthed children too, and those children became known as like Nimrod. Hey, you gotta get up out of here. Yeah, okay, all right. Let me get this. No, come on. Let's go. No, come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I got my boys with me. Oh, yeah.
calm them down for a second.
They want to be around me every 24 hours a day. Yeah, so it says Anunnaki different things, right? I don't understand the question. Did she get along with Lilith? Lilith is Adam's mother. All right, so that was that was a different group. They actually Adam and them actually came from a whole nother star system. They got brought here, but they were engineered a long time ago on Nibiru for as avatars. But they got brought here from Orion, the Watusis. They came from Orion. If you study their hair texture, look at their hair texture, their woolly hair texture. But they got Anunnaki mixed in them with Hindu. Yeah, Kendrick Lamar is an Anunnaki. Okay, Kendrick Lamar is a Gibberine because, like I said, like I was saying before the boys came, is that okay? So Hanuel, the 24 elders, and these different beings, they came down and made babies too. So the babies born from them were called Gibberines, or these mighty hunters, or these mighty men in the sight of the Lord, man of renown. They became famous. Renown means to become famous. All right, so now some of now the ones that was on the 200 fallen side, they became renowned too, but they were considered the bad guys from Michael and them perspective. Now the people that was on Michael's perspective, that were Hanuel and Jesus, Yahshua come down from this same type of being, where these angelical beings, these extraterrestrials come down and make babies with humans. That's the same case of the storyline they give you a birth for Jesus. That these are some angelical being, where they said it was a ghost, right? We already broke that down on we'll go into that too, but they said it was a ghost and really was Hamuel come down and impregnated women. And it's going back to Genesis chapter 6. So some of you are descendants of these beings that were extraterrestrials who birthed kids with humans, and that generation continued. Like Noah. Most of y'all come down from Noah, right? Utna Fishtoon, who had three sons who were triplets. And keep in mind, Utna Fishtoon, Noah was Enki's son. Enki was extraterrestrial. Well, I can't. Well, you could say Enki was extraterrestrial, but he really come from his family come from Earth, the Dragonians. He come from Earth. So but so that then Murdoch's bloodline going with the Natharus and the ancient Kemet from Shu and Geb and from Osiris and them coming down from that bloodline. And Osiris is actually kin to Murdoch two ways. That's his little brother and like his great 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 grandson coming down from that bloodline that started with Murdoch getting married. And Murdoch becomes known as Ra in ancient Kemet. Amun Ra, Atum Ra. He take those titles during different phases of different times of events that happen. Says what Inky. All these beings are type O. All right, so you got type A, which is type A is Homo erectus, the coming down from the evolution of the Homo erectus, Homo sapien. So A is really Homo sapien. B is Hindu. These beings that came from Nirvana, they had to be blood type. They were carnivores and meat eaters. And a tiger has a B blood type. Keep that in mind. And so if you mix those two, or you start de facto, and from those two you get B negative, B positive, A positive, A positive, A negative, and then you start crossbreed those, you get some people with AB, and AB negative, AB plus. So they mix with the Sandsman and Hindus with the A and the B. Now over upgrading that DNA over time, or the Anunnakis keep coming down, then you get the old blood type. Now the old blood type is conducive of A and B. Why? How do you know that? Because O can give blood to the A and the B. The B can't give blood to O. So O negative can give blood to any blood type. I think O positive can give any to any sign that's positive. I think is how it works. And so the O positive, they tell you is universal blood type. RH is pretty much still locked into the Homo erectus phase. The Homo erectus phase. Yeah, RH is Homo erectus phase, and then they upgrade, it become A, and then that's as far as they go to the A, the RH and the A, and then on the B is extraterrestrial blood type. B is extraterrestrial blood type too, because there was no B on the planet before the Hindus came. So you got RH, you got a rare blood type because most people are supposed to upgrade it from that blood type by now. Most of them beings were O negative. Most of these beings, when they and it really depends on. You gotta keep in mind these people take avatars, so they can really make their blood type whatever, but it's mostly O negative, which is the universal blood type. They can give blood to anybody. Artificial intelligence ramping up. Like I say, artificial intelligence is really behind, but the people who want to use that is the reptilians. A certain group of reptilians want to use that artificial intelligence to control the humans, and what it is a secondary measure, because what they want to do is they want to keep you in a certain level of technology. I mean, a certain level of information and technology, so they can keep you as a food source. Once you go past that particular percentage, they cannot use you no more. So they hoping that you don't make, so a certain amount of y'all don't make it, so they can get a whole nother 1,000 years where they put artificial intelligence over the planet, because they say humans are not ready to take right, because they know you can take rightful air of the planet. Why? Because you come from their descendants too, these reptilians. Right? You come from their descendants too, these reptilians. Yeah. So these boys, they ain't gonna let me do live. It's like almost I'm about to come back. It's like 10:49. Probably like that's what I'm saying with a tail, right? Because really the Homo erectus rhesus monkey phase, the RH. How much do we meditate? Non-stop action, man. We got non-stop action on the meditation all day long. I'm always daydreaming, astro traveling, deja vuing, all day for something. And then the deja vu's been happening for a lot lately, like back to back to back since that damn eclipse. Yeah, we pretty much got a lot of tapes on the holy tablets, like as far as the Anunnakis and stuff go. And it's a lot of more detailed stuff in the holy tablets. Like I say, if you want to read the holy tablets, we got that in the links for free. And I had that as an idea that I was gonna go through certain chapters in the holy tablets, the ones that we hadn't touched on. The update on the master teacher, York got the update on the master teacher. So um maybe we can do a tape on that sooner or later. We'll have to get with her on that, see what she want to do. But we got like a medical update from him that she sent out, and what's going on his medical things. And like I say, we hadn't received that many donations. She hadn't received that many donations because we working on getting donations so we can do something for the master teacher. And I'm about to get ready to put out the York part. I think it's 7 and 8. That'll be the final finale for season 1. But now that I got settled in, I'm catching up on the work. I'm gonna be able to start putting those tapes out again. So if you want to show her some love, cash app her at York LLC for the master teacher. And they trying to do a couple things and working on certain things for him. Right now, I'm trying to regroup because I had to just snatch myself straight out of a situation, straight down to Atlanta, and I got my two boys with me. So we rocking like that. Says a half brother or twins. Up there. Oh, we don't got. You had to get with Rod on the update on Hooper, on Larry. That's Rod Hayes' chief. Our chief is Black Eagle Thunderbird, Dr. Malachi Z York. Naya Malachi Z York L. Ferti. Atun Ray. Yeah, noon. Yeah, so we don't got no upgrade on get with Rod on the update on Larry. It says what about A? Like I said, A is Sans Man. Homo erectus. And I believe the Anunnakis had different. Not all Anunnakis were O blood types. Some of them had B because of the Hindus. Some of them Hindus work on Nubaru, so I believe they had these. Some of these Hindus had a B blood type. Well, most of them, all of them. You got to eat certain things. You got to eat certain types of foods with certain blood types. Hey, if you want to talk about the blood type, go check out my tapes called "What Is Your Blood Type?" Part 1 and Part 2. We got over 1,500 tapes out right now. We pretty much controlling the game. We got tapes on everything, from Jesus to Muhammad, from Enlil, Inky, Anu. We even showed you the pictures of Anu and Inky now. Now, for the people that say, "Oh, that ain't them," right? Well, then that means you know who the real ones is. If they ain't the real ones, then you got the real picture. So produce the real picture. We've been waiting on that for a minute. Seems like we the only one put it out. Ain't nobody came with no pictures other than us. On we exposed you because the master teacher said that these were real people, right? And we know they was real people because when I started seeing them, I remember being up there before. I remember being up there before all this. And some kind of way we chose to come here. But I remember the whole all the stuff that I showed you in those pictures, called A Day on Nubaru, and all those pictures that I showed you were actually how it looked, and how Nu look, and how Enlil look, how his mother look, how the whole court is called News Court. Go back on the video side, scroll down, and watch a News Court. We show all the pictures of the people. So these are real people. They are real living, breathing humans. They smoke. They drink. Yeah, God smoke and drink. You niggas probably gonna take you a while to go. I can show you. I can show you what these people brought. What you calling weed? The Anunnakis brought that, bro. They started making beer way before you was. They were drinking liquor way before you was even thought of. They came here making beer, and the Egyptians learned how to do it from these extraterrestrials, how to make beer. The Anunnakis were drinking beer. Baba talk about it in the hotel. He talked about how they was drinking beer in the holy tablets. He didn't go into much. He didn't go into too much because he didn't want to scare y'all. But these people rolling up joints and everything. Enlil and them rolling up joints. It ain't bad to them. They rolling up joints. I'm not saying you should go out and do this, but but Elohim's of your Bible was rolling joints. Yeah, Inky them. Inky used to smoke joints and drink beer. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, bro. And them boys was doing, and at my mother's house, they had a little bit of everything going on. Because you got to keep in mind, my mother is the devil that wear Prada. Nana. They say, "Oh, well, he talking bad." Well, about my own mother. Yeah. When you came to her house, she had piles of everything, every kind of drug. Yeah. And you gotta keep in mind, Nanar is her dad, Nanar Sin, and he was a drug dealer. He really, they reenacted that New Jack City Nina Brown character at the Nano Sin, Nano technology, Nanar Sin, and he was the one that had the operation on Back of the Moon, where they wasn't just smuggling gold, they were smuggling drugs too. The Anunnaki smuggling drugs, not just gold. They were smuggling dope, all kind of dope, as in dopamine. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, it's exclusive. The bust down watches you wear, they been had the chains with the diamond bust down, and then every two been rocking it. They at first they just wrote Jews, and then when Inky got down here and started messing with the gold, that's when Inky started wearing the gold when he saw what the other people was doing, and then that's when the Anunnaki started rocking the gold. They wasn't rocking gold at first, but they was rocking the bust down diamonds. And then once they got they was just building everything out of gold, right? They chairs, everything made out of gold. And then when Inky started rocking gold, and then a new seen him, they was like, oh yeah, that's fly. They a new ordered him a couple chains to be made. Everybody started rocking gold chains and shit. Then I'm telling you, the Rolex watch, all that they been had to bust down. Them boys been had bust downs. The Anunnakis. They been drinking beer. They been eating like roast beef and roasted. You gotta go back to the Bible, man. They told Cain them to make them a dinner. These people eat just like you. They got toilets on their shit just like you. They take a shit just like you. These the people you call God. They take a shit on the go. They just take a shit on the gold toilet. See, God take a shit on the gold toilet, solid gold, all the way gold. That's the only difference. Now, right? That's the only difference. They wipe their butt just like you. They breathe. They breathe just like you. The Anunnakis, the Enlil now. They They just got more technology. Yeah, he got to wipe. They got to use. They use Angel Soft though. They got this special type of toilet paper. Actually, they got this little button you can push, and it blows like it gives you like this ominous feeling in the crack of your butt, and then next thing you know, you cleaned all up. Hey, really, they got this like the little button. It's like it does some kind of yeah. No homo though. Say what? Go into that. Go into the other bathroom in mama room. Yeah, so yeah, it gives you this ominous feeling in the crack area. And then next thing you know, you just all wiped up and clean like a baby, smelling like, roses and shit. Yeah, I am gonna do that. I am gonna start the Anunnaki cartoons. That's my next move. Who built the pyramids over the North? Yeah, North America. All right, so the scientist behind the pyramid scheme is Tahuti Ningazita, which is Inky's third son as far as Anunnakis go. Like, because you got Murdoch, Nergal, then you got Ningazita Tahuti, then you got Osiris Damozi, who is the younger brother. But Tahuti is the one that came out with the idea to build these pointy mountains. They had another name for them too. That Zechariah Stitching called them. I think it'll be in a minute. But Tahuti built the first three pyramids, and they built them right after the flood. This was during the age of Leo. And once Tahuti built those first three pyramids in the Giza Plateau, right? Imhotep then built the first pyramid. Let's get that. Tahuti built it, first pyramid. And the three pyramids that he built in the Giza Plateau, them been there longer than what they can tell you. And the Sphinx. Then once Tahuti built those pyramids, he then came over to what they call an Atlantis. And then Tahuti set up a school because we were supposed to come back here and set up a school. And so they went to the center of the earth first and set up the halls of Amenti, which was a school. And then then Tahuti traveled to the surface and started trying to teach the humans on the surface once we came back for the second spin. And they began setting up these temples all over earth. Right, so Tahuti being and these temples were built like what you calling, and keep in mind, Tahuti was a Moor. Tahuti was a Moor. We can get into it. Niggas want to dance? Let's do it. Tahuti was a Moor. Tahuti had the Naga beings in him from his mother's side of Riskagir. He had the Naga beings, and these Naga beings build these mounds or these pyramid-shaped ships, pyramid-shaped house and style, like an ant or a king cobra. So Tahuti was a Moor. He was mixed with these Naga beings. And then so he speed up to Tahuti ended up traveling around the earth, teaching these people how to build these type structures. So Tahuti is the main guy that's instrumental in spreading them. And like I say, he came to America, he was spent most of his time on this side and what they would call an Atlantis or the Great Beyond. He spent because he didn't like to stay over there with the beef. It was a beef going on that side, right? So he didn't like to stay over on that side because a whole bunch of people like Murdoch and his brother and they were fighting and arguing over that particular landmass, the gods. So he came over to this side and started going around teaching the humans how to build these pyramids, teaching them pretty much all kind of sciences and things that he had to uplift the humans. And so that's what Tahuti was about. It's Tahuti Jesus. The word Jesus means savior. So I guess you could say he was a savior for some of the humans because he came and taught them a higher science and higher way of living, as far as and pretty much taught them how the universe was working, the basic principles, all that. Go get my classes called the alchemy class 1 through 7 with Tahuti. What about Billy Carson? You said, oh, is Billy Carson Jesus? I don't think so. So like Jesus is not just one person, really, to me. Anybody that's if you drowning in a pool and a nigga jumping in with a save you from drowning, that nigga become Jesus at that point. If you getting robbed and somebody about to smoke you and another nigga come and the police come and save you from getting smoked and robbed, then the police become Jesus. That's my definition of Jesus, really. Anybody that can save you, your savior, that save your life. You know what I'm saying? Now you got some holy rollers out there that say, "Oh no, his name Yahshua." Yeah, that's right, Yahshua the Messiah. That's right. See, y'all still some religious guys. Y'all need to go to church. Y'all need to be on YouTube. You need to be at church if you're still talking religion. Cause YouTube gonna steer you down the wrong path, man. If you're trying to be a Christian or something, yeah, you're trying to go to church. This nigga crazy for accident. What language did nigga Zeta speak? All right, so he had several languages. They had several languages, but the language, like the Sanskrit and the oldest two languages is Sanskrit and Cuneiform. Now, when we came back as Natharus, we created another language, which is really a language that's higher than it's a higher language form than the cuneiform. It's called hieroglyphics, higher form of graphics or graphs, because the cuneiform is graphs too, of just certain angles and points. But the hieroglyphics is a higher form. It's a picture. It's a picture images, and actually that's the language that we was gonna get back to because of that's the first language before you go into telepathic abilities, because we have the ability to display a picture in our head, and that picture can be 1,000 words. You know how they say a picture means 1,000 words? So it depends on how you word certain pictures in this higher form of graphs, or glyphs, or graphics. It depends on what's being said. But that's that one bird in a certain place can mean 10 different things. And so that language is, once you learn that language, is really formulated, which was the language Tahuti was going out to teach, is really formulated to get us back to our telepathic abilities. And why did they design that language? They brought that Tahuti and them brought that language, which is it's really the Natharu language. They brought that language back because they had robbed these Homo erectus of their telepathic abilities, these Anunnakis. So in order to make things right, the High Council really ordered them to do that. The High Council really ordered them to put that language out like that. On the because Satuk didn't want to teach them that the language of the gods. The Nathar, that's what it means. Netaru means the word of God, or the language of the gods. So these gods were telepathic, and so that language really is not a spoken language. It can be spoken, but it's really not spoken. It's a telepathic language. That's why it's all images and pictures and symbols. And each symbol can mean 10, 15 different things. It just depends on how they word it in the sentence or how they line it up. Right? Just like English language sound different tones. But the Anunnakis really got ordered to give that language because of the fact that they had to start trying to get you back to telepathic, your higher senses. Your higher senses. When you come for the Elohim, you better come as a child. Well, yeah, you right, but you right about that. It depends on who you go holler at though, cause, like Inky cool. Now Murdoch, he cool too, but he a little strict. Enlil, you don't even want to walk. You a mortal or a human. You don't even want to try to conversate with him. He'd probably have you smacked down. Is mortal come talking to me? Who does mortal think he is? And they ain't gonna even better understand you if you don't got know the language. No, they know that the Nuwapu help you speak to them or Arabic because some of their language got Arabic tones, but it's more dark, it's more deeper than that, more complex. But you ain't little don't want to talk to no mortals. You come to you gotta he ain't into the bow before me type thing, but he don't tolerate like if you slow or you don't know what's going on, like the person that know what's going on, that's a human, know not to walk up to Enlil and ask him nothing. You know what I'm saying? So hey, you walked up to Enlil talking about, hey, Enlil, can I run it with you a little bit? He don't want to talk to you. You already should know everything, know what's going on. Anyway, that's how he is. The master teachers said, read. Yeah, some of y'all made it to L's. Some of y'all are children of these beings. That's what I said, y'all. Some of y'all are Gibberines. Some of y'all are angels who just forgot. Y'all are descendants of these beings, these extraterrestrial beings. Who was a dragon? Who was a dragon, yo? So is Lucifer Halide then? Lucifer actually is a title, yeah, and Lucifer can apply to Halide. Lucifer actually means, I heard a lot of perspectives on that, the light bearer and all that, right? But what that actually means is Lu is a prefix in the ancient language, which means destroyer, and then you got the word cipher there, which means circle. Why? Because Lucifer, Halide, was voted to be a 24th elder, but then at one point he decided to turn against Michael and broke the circle. So he became the destroyer of the circle, leaving us with 23. Me being the 23rd, I sat right next to this dude and hear to some of his philosophy because he was very brilliant. But when he turned against Murdoch, that was a wrap for me. Turning against Murdoch, that's a wrap for me. I'm telling you. I went against my own mother for Murdoch. Because because all the stuff that she thought about him, I knew it wasn't true. She's always say, "Oh yeah, he wanted Osiris to go. He wanted his brother to go because he wanted to rule on him." But Murdoch wasn't into ruling like that. Murdoch wasn't into ruling like that. People might think that Murdoch was more into creating new ways to ascend, to get to like his type of personality wasn't what my mother thought. My mother didn't like him. He killed he had my husband killed because he didn't want me to rule. Because my mother was trying to use my dad to rule over the land, use him as a pawn, really, to rule over the land. And she really was the reason why he got killed, because she told him to go do something for her and he did it. And then that's what caused them to be able to try to trap him and set him up, because he loved her so much. He did everything she said. Keep in mind, my mother had the devil in her, because Nanar is Halide's grandson and Enlil's son. Check that out. Nanar and Baal is Halide's grandsons. Yeah, the Baal of your Bible, where they say he was a bad god and they worship the god of Baal, that Baal is Halide's grandson and my mother's uncle. I'm telling you. And Nanar's sin is her dad, Enlil's son. And he was Halide's grandson. So the devil was mixed right up in there. Remember, we did a tape called "The Devil Wears Prada." So when I tell you my mama was running a prostitution ring and the Anunnakis ran a prostitution ring, my mother, which they didn't look at it like that. A lot of stuff that you look at like, oh, that's bad. Oh my God, they doing that. They smoking dope. All the stuff you look at as bad, these people do it. God did it. Your God Elohim was selling women. And to sum it up, Inanna. She had the Inanna's house of horror, with a man with the Anunnakis working in the mines, right? See, at first, before the humans was engineered by Enki Tahuti Ningazita and Mother Ninti, which is a news top scientist, his daughter, on Mars at the Mars project, the Anunnakis were working the mines. Now, these Anunnakis were, when they would get off out the mines, they would come to my mother's house to have like party and drinks and with the girls. Because keep in mind, a lot of them were from other galaxies like Pleiades, Orion, and they left their families in those galaxies, so they didn't get to see their family for a while. They was here like working on like an offshore rig or something, digging gold, but they was using heavy equipment. So some of them would get restless, and they want to let their hair down or relax. You know how it is with those miners. Like in as it is above, so is it below. You know how those the thing about miners, they go do their work mine, and then it's like a bar. They go to the bar, have drinks, and kick it, and then go take a break. So the same thing was going on with the Anunnakis. They would go to the mines, and then they would get off and go to like the bar, which was at my mother's house, and they would party with the girls. The only thing about it is that my mother had trained her girls so good that they would take everything that they got when they came. They would come there with they got land, whatever they got, gold, whatever you got on you, they'll barely make it out of there with their drawers on. They probably took them for everything. They had something on that they want, they took it. Just for coochie, just to get a piece of coochie. Telling you, my mother took advantage of that. That they would come there for that. So eventually a complaint went out in because it got back to Enlil. And keep in mind, our Nana is Enlil's granddaughter. And our Nana, when Enlil, I mean when our Nana ain't around, Enlil talk a lot of shit. But then when my mother get around him, it's like he got some kind of spell on him. He can't go against her. Right? So they put the word out that the miners are getting robbed at our Nana's house of horror. They getting took for everything they got. And it's some girls out here like that now. They use man for their money, take them for everything they got, then kick them to the curb and go to the next guy. That's that Nana gang. Telling you. Telling you. So yeah, that part. And then so the word got out that, oh yeah, it's niggas getting robbed at the Nana's house of horror. So Enlil got on the phone and called because they had cell phones. The Anunnakis had cell phones. You ain't like millions, thousands of years ago. So Enlil got on the phone. Your God, Elohim, the God of your Bible, had cell phones. They had yachts. They had helicopters. What you think a whirlwind is? A whirlwind pick a guy up. They told you a whirlwind because they didn't want to tell you that God had a helicopter. That's when the blades spin and land in the sand to pick Elijah, one of them cats up, it kick up a whirlwind. And so they just wrote it in as a whirlwind in the Bible to leave you on some dogma and not some science, some real science. Make you think God is and God ain't had nothing but some science and technology. Try to make you stupid. The Anunnakis had technology. That's what made them God. And there wasn't no abracadabra shit. It was this nigga had the science to build a helicopter. He built it. And then he pull up on some 8-man niggas, land and pick one of them up. And then the other 8-man niggas say, oh yeah, God picked them up in some kind of whirlwind. They don't know what it is. But if you would talk to God, God would tell you, oh yeah, this ain't nothing but a helicopter. Nowadays, you know that part. But word got out to Enlil. Enlil made a complaint, called up Inky, said, Inky, you got to call our Nana in to talk with her because my minor guys are complaining that they getting took for everything they got when they go come over to her parties. And so Inky was the only one they can talk to her because she had a sweet spot for Inky. Right? And so, but she ended up getting his behind. Inky called over there. She said, oh yeah, I got something for him. She put on a sundress and she used to wear these dresses with the slit down on one leg. And she wear high heel pumps. She started that. My mother started the pumps. She got the idea from dogs, how dog heels are. Yeah, to make and how a cat move. how a cat walk when they make their butt twist or whatever. My mother had that down to a science, and she designed them shoes to do that. That's why when people wear heels, they butt jiggle, right? My mother started it, and the hoop earrings and all that. So she was put her perfume on all her jewelry. She has she didn't just have regular jewelry. Like her jewelry was like ancient technology, where it created a shield on her, or it's got like different attributes of that jewelry that she wore. But then we've been on 50 minutes. Uh, but she ended up going to visit Inky, and they was gonna both he's supposed to talk her to her about what was going on, that she need to stop robbing all the miners. But when she ended up going to his house, she ended up getting this nigga drunk because my mother was to sit there and have one cup of wine, and she'd be sipping on it like this, but she'd be acting like she just messed up. Oh, I'm so messed up off of one little sip, two, three sips. She had like she gone, messed up. And then the whole time she getting Inky drunk in the mud. And then by the time she got him drunk, this is how I do. By the time she got him real drunk, hey, you got to access to cash the records. I could tell you of at least 8 different times that I came here. I can give you details of the stories. I'm actually writing a book called My Past Lives. I'm gonna talk about all the times when I was here, but this is I remember everything. Once you start remembering listening to me or listening to all the like start studying the storylines, it's gonna come back to you with your part in this. But like check this out. So she went to Inky, and she was sitting there with Inky getting them drunk, and then eventually like showing him a leg or something. She ended up lifting her skirt up, showing him, the whole the package. Cause keep in mind, this shit is about coochie. The 200 niggas went against Murdoch them for coochie. Well, Murdoch tried to hook them niggas up. They just said they jumped the gun. Murdoch said, "Man, when you come to the wedding, it's gonna be girls there, and you will be able to, you might be able to pull something." He ain't tell them to come there and take coochie. They came at it. Them niggas made a deal amongst themselves to come take the coochie. Murdoch, so you got niggas like that. You can't hang around niggas like that though. Murdoch didn't want to deal with them niggas anyway though. But he say, "Oh, yeah, you come to the wedding, y'all niggas been begging me for coochie for 3,000 years. But when you come to this wedding, it's gonna be some you Lulus there, right? And you can get in where you fit in. Lulus, they usually, they go livers. Lulus go live, especially if you extraterrestrial and you coming down to this party in the land of Nod and all that. They these Lulus go livers. So y'all niggas that don't know what go livers is. These Lulus go livers, and cause you got to keep in mind these dudes were ugly. These 200 fallen niggas, they were ugly niggas. They weren't pretty boys like us and Anarchists, tall, dark, and handsome. They weren't tall, dark, and handsome. They were tall, but they damn sure weren't handsome. So they had a hard time getting some girls, man. Murdoch tried to plug them in, right? Murdoch tried to plug them in, but them niggas, you know how you got that homeboy, you was like, "Oh yeah, come to this party I'm having. It's gonna be some girls there, and I'm gonna try to, maybe hook you up with my girlfriend or something like that." But they ain't got that much game just to sit back and relax on that part. Hey, I got 8 books out right now by the young elder. The Book of Extraterrestrial is a book you may like if you like this class. For $50 donation to the Cash App, the Young Elder, leave your emails in the links, and we'll send you all 8 books over. We got the Orion Group book, the Ascension Manual is the hot joint. We got the Dream Scroll, the Galactic Family of Life, right? The Book of Extraterrestrial, I said that. The Hustler's Manual, the Scroll of Eyes, Part 1, right? And we're gonna be doing book reviews on these books too, here soon. Yeah, they know it's technology. Now, there is another thin line between it, the voodoo part, because it's not really voodoo. What it is alchemy. So you got technology, right? Which is, technology is dealing with electronics, things of that nature, right? Then you got alchemy, which is chemistry. So the voodoo part, the part that they ain't telling you is about the chemistry part, about how they can mix certain things. and make certain things happen using certain elements like fire, wind, water. So that you're dealing with that part of it. So it ain't really voodoo versus technology, or like the magical shit versus some technology. They really in the same boat as science, but they two different things. Like so it's mostly chemistry is what you're dealing with. Then the technology part is another side of it. Yeah, we talking about that. The French called it voodoo when they invaded Hades, and these beings started using different types of like chemistry and alchemy to ward them off. And what it was is they said that, okay, let me break it down for you. When the French attacked them, they used alchemy on them, what you would call voodoo. The French called it voodoo. Now there's certain plants out here that make you hallucinate, right? If you put and our people used to put this on like those little blow things where they blow and they hit your ass, and then all of a sudden you pass out, right? So some certain frogs got poison on them. Certain plants, if you're an alchemist, you know these plants, and then the plants that make niggas hallucinate. Some of you niggas probably do these type of plants already, right? So we overstood that science. And so when these niggas came and we put that shit on a dart, put some shit that make you hallucinate and see monsters coming out the ground. When you like, they got some shit like that called what, PCP, all that shit, right? So imagine taking some PCP, putting it on a goddamn on me arrow, and then when these motherfuckers get on land, you shoot them with it, right? As soon as you shoot them with it, shit, about 10, 30, 20 seconds later, after that shit hit his bloodstream, they start seeing motherfucking elephants and all kind of shit. And they like all them niggas start going crazy. Oh, they got some zombies coming out the ground. They take off running, get back on the boat. They use voodoo on us. And all it was is some shit they put on the damn end of a stick or something. Yeah, the poison to make them hallucinate and see shit. So that's the voodoo part, or the what happened in Hades, or any time that we fought against them using that particular strategy, which is the alchemical strategy using the poisons and the plants and things of that nature. We knew this in ancient Kemet. It's some tribes still do this when they still put the poisonous darts, or the your ass walk up into the wrong part of the jungle and next thing you know, something hit you, like, damn, what was that? Feel like a fly hit me. Then all of a sudden your ass pass out, be paralyzed. They got some shit that can paralyze you too. From them little, it's like they can put snake venom, all that on the end of them darts. We used to do this. So that's the voodoo part you're talking about. When they came on the land, they said, the French said, oh, that's some voodoo, because they didn't understand the ancient Kemetic, that we knew about all these poisonous plants and hallucinating drugs and all this, and we could shoot niggas with that shit. And pretty much it's a part of a war strategy. What plant can you chew for anxiety? Anxiety is like a rush. Let's see. What plant can you chew for? I ain't no, like say I ain't no expert in the herbs. I know a lot of shit because I just out for studying, but I ain't no expert in the in it. I'm trying to think of what plant you can chew for anxiety. Hey, I'm gonna get back with you on that. Just leave that. Hey, leave after the show. Leave it in the comments, and then I'm gonna go and do some. I got the Dr. Sabi um Bible. So I'm gonna look up in there and see, can I find something on that. Sometimes, sometimes Ford. Keep in mind, uh, that TAC, what you call in TAC, really stands for 2 hours of consciousness, and that we used it as a ceremonial herb over here as Native Americans, and what we would use it for is to make peace amongst each other. And so, if me and you was part of the same tribe and we had a beef, at the end of the day, as the sun go down, the chief and somebody strong or a warrior of our tribe would come and get us and say that the chief would like to summon you to the TP. And you come to the chief TP, and the medicine man will be sitting in there. And y'all had a beef that day, so they'll put some on what they would call a peace pipe. That's why they called it the peace pipe, because it's supposed to make peace. And then they were fired up and puff, puff, pass. And once everybody hit it, then they would begin to talk out their differences. And usually they would come to the conclusion that, man, you know what, we sorry, we apologize. They would hug and make up and go back to their business. So it was used to make peace. But now the devil has weaponized it, right? By crossbreeding. Really, he ain't doing nothing new, because the Anunnakis had already made the Hindu Kush. They had already crossbreeded with opium a long time ago. So what you're smoking as Kush and all this, so you say this gas and all that, that's really uh weed mixed with, they call it hashi. It's mixed with opium, and they start back doing that. Now they in California growing it like that with the mix with the opium. That's why you have cold sweats when you get off of it. But it was used to make peace. And the 2 hours of the THC, they told you a whole bunch of bullshit, made this big ass word up, but it really stands for 2 hours of consciousness. And you're really not supposed to smoke it all day, every day. It's really only supposed to be smoked when there's a discrepancy in the home between two people. That's how we used it. And when we made peace with chiefs, with chiefs would meet up and make peace with each other, they had beef. They would usually, you pull out the peace pipe, and that was like a way of, like, you know, like showing like, oh yeah, we good, or we cool, everybody's cool, right? But now people just doing it for recreation. Listen to the word recreation. A lot of people doing it to recreation. They're not doing it how we used to do it as a ceremonial herb as Native Americans, as a peace treaty or a peace thing. And this happened because of John Rolfe them. John Rolfe them came, and when we let them hit it, they went back and said, oh yeah, well, these Native Americans, they got some shit that make you horny, and it make you want to do it, and it make you feel good, and la 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 la. And he went back and told them niggas, and they came back and raided us for our shit. They came back and raided us for it. Yeah, but the original strands, like I say, the Kush strand is not a new strand. The Hindus had already, I mean, the Hindus had actually brought the shit, really, with the Hindu side of the Anunnakis. That's why the original strand is called Hindu Kush. They had already mixed it with opium. You see what I'm saying? And they brought this from a galaxy called Cyrus, the dog star, cannabis, which is why one of the names for it is cannabis. Right? These Hindus, and they were dogs. These beings, these Hindus that brought it, they were mixed with dog. Like, man, shit, like a lot of this shit might go over here. They were mixed with dog, and then you think you wonder why Snoop Dogg was smoking all that weed, because he got them dog Hindus who brought that shit from Cyrus, who brought it here, and it was already mixed. When they got here, they mixed it with opium, created what they call hashish or Hindu Kush, and so it's really not original strand. That's even not the original screen. This the Afghan and all it. It come from India, from these 200 fallen niggas who brought that shit. And keep in mind, you niggas got them niggas in you. Hey, look, we waiting on that, Commando. We hope so. You already know what he looked like, so when you see him, you gonna know, oh, that's a new. When he going live. But Inking them was already rolling this Hindu Kush up, getting right. And they was already doing opium. They was already making medicine. The Anunnakis, they was already making medicine from this opium plant, like oxycontins and all these different things you got now. The Anunnakis been making them pain medicines. Why? Because different miners were getting injured in the mines. They would fall down. Same shit you got going on. The Anunnakis would have somebody would get injured because they were working heavy equipment, this new type of heavy equipment that they really weren't familiar with. Because Inky was designing all the shit as they were going to try to mine the gold. And so a lot of them weren't familiar with the equipment. They had to learn the equipment. And some of them would get injured. And Mother Ninti had set up in Naples, she had set up a hospital there. And they was already making beer and different like stuff like the stuff you got at the hospital, the drugs that you give at the hospital to ease pain and all that. the Anunnakis was already experimenting with that with the opium plant. You ain't did nothing new. They was already doing it. And Mother Ninti. Mother Ninti was the one making all the medicines. She set up the first pharmacy. The first pharmacy was set up by Mother Ninti, who was a news daughter, who was a scientist. Before Mother Huber, who was a news sister, and his older sister, uh, and Charles, head scientist, because each Most High and new takes on a most high scientist or the head scientist, chief scientist, and usually it's a lady, and usually that lady is usually a daughter, based on the patterns that we see. Because you got, like I say, Mother Huber, which is Anshaw's daughter, and then you got the next scientist after her to take over to become chief scientist for the ninth Anu, is his daughter, Mother Ninti, who also takes on the title in ancient Kemet for you Natharu niggas, Harthar, Mother Harthar, who breastfed. That's why you got the same type of statue. If you look up Inanna and then you look up Mother Harthar, some people get them mixed up. What they could, but well, how you don't get them mixed up if you got to look at the headdress. Harthar's headdress is like a bull horns with the sun disc in the middle, right? And then my mother has the queen chair or the step stool on her head, the square, the chair that my father sit in, right? In the papyrus where Haru is taken after the weighing of the heart ceremony. So it's a square. And but both of them are breastfeeding. But that first one is the first Haru, Haru the elder, who was the first who Mother Ninti them birthed to breastfeed. And she breastfeed the first classified human beings, which is the first Harus, the first Haru, elder. And then you see the second Haru, Haru the young elder, is best fed by Inanna. Uh, and they like they say, oh, it's immaculate conception and what have you. So we've been on here an hour, man. We're gonna have to come back with a part 5. We can do an Anunnaki question and answers all day. Oh yeah, another plant that the Anunnakis was messing with, it was called a mandrape. They had a plant called a mandrape that they was messing with. And that mandrape, they used to make elixir from that mandrape that caused them to prolong their life. And it's the same thing that made Noah where he was able to live like 900 years old, because they was eat mandrapes. And they don't never mention nothing about that or say nothing about this thing, but they give a riddle. They give a riddle in one of them books where they said the plant that prolonged the life, it's a plant that looked like the man. The plant that looked like a man. That's the plant that the Anunnakis was giving Noah and them. The plant that looked like a man. Go look that plant up. It's called a mandrape. So nobody really never talk about it. We hope they don't shadow ban us for saying it. Yeah, stuff like shrooms and things of that nature. But like I say, yeah, the Harry Potter thing, that's dealing with the alchemy. Like I said, the alchemical side. Those French went. If you go read the storyline when they attacked Hades, they left saying that they were seeing monsters come out the ground and big elephants chasing them, purple elephants chasing them and shit. What that sound like? Some niggas hallucinating. So they shot them niggas with hallucinating drugs, and they said that they did some voodoo and witchcraft on them. And you got to keep in mind how they become known as voodoo and witchcraft. It's because the Spanish Inquisition. The Spanish Inquisition, once we was doing alchemy on the land, and they came with this religious dogma. So once we use our alchemy on the land on them, they say, oh, that's witchcraft, or that's the devil. And so anybody that was doing it, they got labeled as devils and witchcraft guys, and they got to be burned at the stake, because they shoot niggas with darts with poison on the front to make niggas hallucinate. So they doing some witchcraft. Let's kill them. Let's burn them at the stake. That's how that shit come about. That's how that they spin that narrative. You know what I'm saying? On we was witchcraft guys. Nah, we just knew the land. We was nature beings. We knew that we can take that frog right there, that bullfrog got poison in them. And then when somebody come to invade our land, all we gotta do is capture that bullfrog, roll us an arrow in him, drain that poison out and put it on the arrow. And then when he come on the land, we shoot him with it. Boom. And then we shoot him with it. He started hallucinating. We go take all his shit and push him back off in the ocean. That type of thing. That's all it was. It wasn't no It wasn't no and then like they did some hold their hands up and said some words and shit like abracadabra and some zombies came out of the ground. Nah, it wasn't nothing like that. They try to leave us on this shit, but the shit is out. We dealing with straight science. No more Jesus didn't say abracadabra and turn no water into wine. That nigga moonshine that shit. He did some moonshining. He got he did some distillery. Yes, that's no more I don't want to hear nobody coming back with no If you can't scientifically explain that shit, don't even save it. Save it, bro. Because it's a scientific way to explain everything. So save it. This is 2024. We don't got no more ain't no more shit. That's for the kids. Shit is for the kids. I'm a grown motherfucker. You ain't gotta tell me no well swallow the guy. I'm supposed to believe that. Now, if you say, oh yeah, well, this guy will really know, like you come to me like, oh yeah, you really know that wasn't a whale though. That was God inking them in a submarine. I'll say, oh yeah, that makes sense now. But we ain't gonna tell the kids that. We don't want to tell them God pulled up in a submarine back in the Bible. We want them to still believe the children's story of a whale eating a guy and taking them under for 3 days and spitting them back up onto the surface. Now, ain't that some crazy shit? So yeah, when you start reading the Bible now, don't believe no Think about it. Use your logical sense and say, okay, was it a whirlwind or was it a helicopter? Some type of craft? Or was he talking from a burning bush? Or did he have some type of hologramic technology where he can beam himself down and it looks like a burning bush because it's a light? Because you got to keep in mind, back then, everything was, they had lanterns and lights. So when they seen something that was burning, anything that was like a light type thing, it was associated with fire. So they said burning bush. But the thing is, Inky used a hologram to tell these guys, go tell them guys that it was a hologram. They called it a burning bush. These extraterrestrials got where they can hologram themselves, and they showed you that with Tupac. So just think about when they put Tupac as a hologram. Now, somebody 10,000 years ago that don't even understand lighting fixtures and all that and the way this shit worked, and they only understood lanterns and fire as for light. When they see that hologram, they're gonna be like, "Oh, God appeared," or some nigga like somebody appeared, a human form, but they was light, like a hologram, and they talked to me out the bush. You see, might do a tape called "Technology in the Bible." Might do that one next. Technology in the Bible, so we can break some of that stuff down. What's the highest of what? What's the highest of what, Chief? Starlight. Yeah, it's nothing new under the sun. It's nothing new under the sun. Only the highest dimension is the ninth dimension. But keep in mind, all dimensions are one. All the dimensions are one, but the highest is the ninth dimension. And how it is because people say, oh, it's no separate. It's a separation between them. Even though they exist all as one, it's a separation between them. And let me give you an example. If you got a walkie-talkie that's got 4 channels on it, one of those two-way walkie-talkies. Now, if you turn to channel 1 and then somebody else turn to channel 1, y'all can hear each other. But if that other person just so happened to turn to channel 2, now y'all can't hear each other. He on a different channel. So it's 9 channels. It's a channels here. Some people say 12 because they say, oh, it's 12 bands, but that 12 is nothing but a combination number between 1 and 2. But once you get to 9, all it does is overlap back to 1. And it's just like keep looping. That 9 keep looping to infinity. Like this. Boom, boom, boom. And it's spiraling up and out and in and backwards and forwards. But the highest dimension is the ninth dimension, which is we termed based on our analogies as 9 ether gas. And then once those 9 ether gases begin to cool off and individualize, they become to the 8th dimension, which is independence or individuality, where these gases separate. And then once they begin to slow down a little bit, more they turn into light. In the sixth dimension or seventh dimension, where they turn into thought. These gases become thought patterns and different thoughts. They created the different thoughts. And then the sixth dimension, once it slows down the thought, it becomes light. Then once that light slows down, goes to the fifth dimension, it starts in putting it into motion. You get into the emotional side of things in the fifth dimension. But all these dimensions are physical dimensions. Why? Because the first three make up the rest. Add like when you add 1, 2, and 3, that makes 4. Like the first three is height, width, and length. Then height, width, and length become volume. Once you add all three of them together, it creates the stuff that sits in the middle, or what they call in space. They say fourth dimension is space, but there's really no such thing as space because space is always filled. So it's really volume that which sits inside of this height, width, and length. And then once that is concentrated, then you put a spin on it, then you get the motion, the energy. Because that fourth, what sits in between, what sits in the fourth dimension is that volume, and that volume is energy. And then once that energy begins to move, you get emotions, energy and motion. That's the fifth dimension. And then once it speed up to a certain speed, that goes to light, and then boom to gas. Because this light is made up of gas. What gas? The 9 ether gases. We don't want to go too hard on niggas, man, because we really behind right now. We really behind because we're trying to get all the stragglers. But we don't want to give you too much at one time to blow your brain or make you think that we crazy or something. Only a certain amount of people should be up to speed to what we're saying right here. We don't want to bust your brain because it's a possibility that a lot of people ain't up to speed. Yeah, that's right. But we got to get up out of here, man. We over the time. Peace and love. High vibrations. What do?